what the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
Hello.
We are live.
Yay. Welcome to our new, or actually not so new anymore, our weekly series, All Things Scientology, where we will be continuing to pull back the curtain on the abusive practices of the cult of Scientology. I'm your host, Claire Headley, and of course, my co-host, none other than
Scobee.
Yes.
Yes, and with over 92 years of Scientology experience between the two of us, we have plenty to share.
Oh boy.
And so do the guests that we'll be inviting on our show, often throughout the weeks. Lots and lots of years of experience behind the Iron Curtain of Scientology.
I cannot wait. We have so much to talk about. We were talking about it earlier today. I don't know what decade we're ever going to run out of content. Do you?
I mean, the list just keeps getting longer. And then plus, thank you everyone for your suggestions. They're noted. I mean, we've got so many suggestions of things to take up that I hadn't even thought of. And I just keep making lists and lists and lists. So, we're going to get to them. And I really appreciate the feedback that we're getting from people.
Yes, very much so. And for everybody joining us tonight, we already are at 500 people. Thank you so much for coming. We are excited for tonight's episode.
Yes, we're very excited.
Yes. So where would we like to start for today? Oh, you have some news.
I do have some news.
Let's do that first. Let's do the good stuff first.
Okay, first of all, thank you everybody in our SPTV community who has been convincing my husband that the right thing to do is to get another dog so that Mango has a playmate. And he now has a little brother named Kiwi. And this is what Kiwi... Can anybody see him?
Yes, absolutely. He's so cute. I cannot take it.
Okay, here's one more picture. Can you see him?
Yes, absolutely. So cute. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He's directly under my feet, so I'm not going to wake him up. But yeah, he's totally adorable.
Nice.
And he already Mango's sharing his bones with him and everything like that. He's like pint size, so. Mango towers over him, but he's really tolerant of him tugging on his tail and everything like that. So we now have a playmate for Mango.
Yay. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate you submitting. Not that that was ever really a question, but Yeah.
And the thing that's funny is, so his name, this is also a suggestion from one of the subscribers that his name is Kiwi. And so I have Mango and Kiwi. And
Nice.
Mike Render said today, boy, pretty soon you're going to have a whole fruit salad.
Yeah, that's what I said. You need a peach now.
The lady at the vet, I took him to the vet today to get him started on his program. And a lady at the vet today said, well, at least you didn't name him Grape. Oh my God, so funny. But so there you go. I'm very, very happy and excited. He's got issues, we rescued him out of a bad situation, but nothing that TLC can't handle. Like Mango, we rescued him out of a bad situation. I named him Mango because he was solid yellow. I didn't even know he was white, But now look at him, he's just thriving. So that's what I just
awesome.
Love. I love
Congratulations.
Love to give them love.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, here, I have one little show and tell that I got from our friend Marilyn Honig, who makes incredible things.
Oh,
Look
gosh.
at this.
That is a work of art. Literally a work of art. Claire Bear.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook, and my son was like, "I want that." So I was like, "I'll make a donation to the Aftermath Foundation for that for him."
Yes. If we had our layout long like we normally have it, you can see I got a bookshelf behind me because out of necessity, because of all the amazing things that have come in. I don't know how to change it from here to show that, but
here, I got it.
You got it?
Right there.
Let's just see if people can see.
Yep, I see it.
You see it. Okay.
Yep.
So I don't see what you're seeing, but as you can see, there's a bookshelf behind me, and it's got all kinds of fun stuff on there from the community, and it just makes the SPTV experience very, very enjoyable.
Yes, it sure does. I
Yeah.
know. We have some very incredibly creative people in this group. It's awesome.
Yes, we do.
Yes. So should we launch into our topic, or did you want to give an update first?
Well, I just wanted to say, speaking of Mike, he's doing better and things are improving. And
Yes.
there's possibly something in the grapevine that there may be a YouTube video coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
We will keep you posted. We will help
Yes.
spread the word. It's such a relief and such wonderful, positive news.
Yes.
I'm sure I speak for us all when I say I felt just a tremendous relief to know that things are going in the right direction.
That's for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
Yay.
Okay. We have fun topics tonight.
Yes. So should we launch into our arbitration topic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Justice in Scientology. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So justice and arbitration. Amy and I were talking, and given that arbitration has come into the news of late because Scientology lawyers have deflected or have been attempting to deflect lawsuits using this quote unquote alleged arbitration. And as we mentioned, we between Amy and I, we have almost 100 years of experience in Scientology and since leaving Scientology. And so we're going to break this down and expose why this is such a fraud and such a scam on the part of Scientology.
Mm-hmm. Total scam. I mean, number one, the word arbitration isn't in any of the justice policies in Scientology. Okay.
Yep.
So after a zillion years of being in Scientology, and I start hearing this arbitration thing, I'm like, what are they talking about? I've never even heard of that. You know, it's not written by L. Ron Hubbard, so how is this a thing? And there's volumes of, I mean, justice is thrown around like nobody's business in Scientology, and there's volumes and volumes of L. Ron Hubbard policy and issues about getting people's ethics in, applying justice, punishments, and all this. Not once did they say anything about an arbitration.
That's right. And actually, ironically, someone who is currently a public Scientologist, if they heard that somebody is being sent to arbitration, they would actually write a knowledge report, because that would be, quote, verbal tech, unquote, which in the world of Scientology means there is no Hubbard policy that describes such a thing. So therefore, no Scientologist should be making reference to this, right? Isn't that fair to say?
That's exactly right. And also, it's squirrel.
Yeah.
You take L. Ron Hubbard's policy and you twist it. That means you're a squirrel, and so therefore you deserve to be declared a suppressive person.
Exactly. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that, and again, as we were talking earlier, there's Hubbard policy on everything: how to shine your shoes, how to clean windows, the exact steps to write down your crimes committed against Scientology, like down to the letter.
I mean, pathetically, like
exactly.
Like, can I make a single decision myself? Yeah.
Yes. So for this to be quote unquote a justice procedure that's not outlined step by step in the ethics book, which is essentially the Bible of the Scientology police, mm-hmm. and defines the justice system in excruciating detail, it's not in there. And therefore, it just goes to show that this is actually simply and only a strategy by Scientology lawyers to deflect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's completely fabricated. It's just fabricated and said, okay, our religious, decision today, protected under the Second Amendment or whatever, is we demand that these people come back into our organization and we'll decide what to do with them. And some judges are falling for it.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me.
Yeah, and what's even another example of how crazy this is, when Mark and I had our lawsuit pending from 2009 until 2012, there was no arbitration there.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing.
Where was the arbitration?
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Yes, exactly. I know. Well, yeah, no, it just goes to further document, I think, the level of egregious creativity that Scientology is making their lawyers come up with to fabricate steps and policies and justice that does not even exist.
Yeah, as if it had always been that way, and you need to allow us to practice the way we practice. And, I mean, Debbie Cook even, she went to trial. What happened to the arbitration there? You know, it's just, the whole thing is just completely fabricated, and they're getting away with it. And that's why we keep speaking out about it. We have to keep raising the issue, because maybe somebody who can make a difference is listening to us, and maybe there's a judge, maybe there's a FBI agent, maybe there's somebody who cares about justice.
Yeah.
Justice is my biggest pet peeve, I tell you, man. Oh,
Yeah, because it's a witch hunt in Scientology. That's why. Yeah. But speaking of Debbie Cook, I honestly think that was probably the final event that then resulted in the the Scientology lawyers then coming up with this quote unquote arbitration strategy, because the testimony Debbie Cook gave in open court was so damning and so devastating to Scientology management, to David Miscavige, that they shut her down immediately after one day.
Yeah, and luckily in that one day, she got out all kinds of juicy tidbits, like David Miscavige's assistant or / secretary or / girlfriend, who knows, Larice Strickenbrock, was ordered by Dave, break her finger, and she goes and bends it back almost to the point of, and then hit her. And so Larice goes over and slaps her until she knocks her down into the chairs, or tells Mark Inga Nelson, go and lick the bathroom after being beat for an hour or a half hour or whatever. Go lick the bathroom floor clean for another half an hour. I mean, these are the type of things that Dave Miscavige was doing. And that came out in that court case, and it's forever on the internet and forever in the records. So that is beautiful. I didn't know that was the catalyst for their arbitration, though.
I don't know that for sure. Yeah. But it was definitely after that. So it would be interesting to actually do a detailed analysis of that. But I'm pretty sure, you never heard about arbitration before that. Proof of the point. No. Debbie wasn't sent to arbitration. And yet the next case after that, I think the first quote unquote arbitration, if I'm not mistaken, began with Luis Garcia and Rocio Garcia's lawsuit. I think that was the first time that became a thing. And that was definitely after Debbie's testimony.
Right. Yeah. It was definitely afterwards. Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't put the two things together, but we're getting our butts whipped. We need another strategy. Right.
Well, yeah. And of course, they've always revised the agreements the staff sign after every lawsuit to make them try and make them more and more defend themselves against the next round of, exposure of crimes and abuses and so on and so forth. Yeah, really, after our lawsuit was when people had to sign documents saying that they were, quote, volunteers in the Sea organization.
Right. Yeah, we're volunteering.
Yeah, no.
And the other thing is, when you're in the Sea Org and the OSA comes around, staff members from OSA comes around with a little arrow on a piece of paper, like one of these little stick-em arrows, sign here, sign here, sign here. And you just and then on to your next thing. You don't even know what it is, because you just know that OSA is taking care of all that kind of rigmarole, so you don't have to get into it. So you don't even know really what you're signing,
Yeah, it's not like they ever explain to you what the differences are. You never have legal representation, of course. You would never dare to say, oh, I'm not signing this. That's a sure ticket to hell in a handbasket.
No, it's just updated. Plus, you don't know what's going on the external front. It's like, okay, we just got sued, and what happened was they revealed what was really going on, and we got to stop that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really what was happening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. And so, and also for everyone listening here, let's see here. we will go a little bit more into that. We'll do questions. Oh, we're up to 1,000 people. Yay. Thanks for joining
Hello,
us.
everyone.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Later on in tonight's show, we will be talking with Katherine Spallino, who is the author of The Bad Cadet, book she wrote about growing up in Scientology. So I'm excited to talk with her. And yeah. But is there anything else we didn't cover about the fraudery known as arbitration in Scientology?
Oh my God, fraudery. One of the things when I was talking to Matt about tonight's thing, we were talking about the different justice actions in Scientology. I hate that they even call it justice because it's so not. It's like,
yes,
it's my biggest button. And it was when I was in there too, and it still is. But is the whole notion of putting a head on a pike. That's what you say all the time in the Sea organization. We need a head on a pike, or we better put a head on a pike. And what that meant was it gets everybody else prodded. If you put a head on a pike, like, okay, this whole division isn't producing very well, so let's take the second in command and bust them to the RPF, and that'll get everybody else running. So it's putting a head on a pike. Yeah. And that was used all the time in the Sea Org, and it was so arbitrary and cruel.
Yes.
So that was the other thing I thought of bringing up.
Yeah, which reminds me of the piece of that I just bothered the heck out of me, is the whole Hubbard's investigation technique, which required that you find a who
every time. It's not done unless there's a who.
It's down to a person, and it could never be, of course, be David Miscavige or even an executive.
Even though it was usually his order that destroyed an area or whatever. Totally. And also the other thing is, like, if you don't find somebody else's crime, that automatically means that you have a similar crime of your own.
Yes.
That it's just policy in Scientology. If you don't get somebody else's ethics in on a certain point, your ethics are out. You have a similar crime of your own. So anyway.
Yeah, the amount of times that I had to interrogate executives, and if I didn't find out what they had going on, then I was going to be going to the Rehabilitation Project Force. I was like, this is insane. It's totally insane. It's a witch hunt. You're right. There's no part of Scientology justice includes actual justice, as in real world justice.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, and I could just say real quick, just to round up the justices, I'll tell you some of the things. So arbitration isn't there, but some of the things that are there is you get ethics hearing, you get a court of ethics, you get a committee of evidence, you get a non-interpolation order, which means if you upset anyone, you could be SP declared. You get assigned to the DEX, assigned to the Rehabilitation Project Force. You get your certs and awards canceled, your certificates and awards. So any training that you did, you have to redo.
And let's not forget.
Yeah.
There's also ethics protection for criminals in Scientology who have quote unquote up statistics, who are producing what is expected of them. Mm-hmm. And reports of actual crimes per L. Ron Hubbard policy are, quote, filed with a yawn, unquote.
They're not even looked at. They're not investigated. They're not picked apart. No one is interviewed about them, anything. And it could be hair raising, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. If the person has protection, then you don't do anything about it.
And in fact, the person who wrote the report on the, quote, the Scientologist who is protected by ethics, that person gets investigated.
They're attacking an upstat.
Yep.
Yeah. So
in other words, a victim of a crime who reports a Scientologist for committing that crime, if that Scientologist has ethics protection, the victim is punished.
Mm-hmm.
Just to put it in plain language.
Many examples, and a prime example, obviously, was Danny Masterson.
That's right.
He was upstat. Nobody did anything. The crimes were covered up artfully by Scientology and Celebrity Center staff and everything like that. The other thing I was going to say is, like, with the justice, you get stripped of any rank or rating that you may have.
Oh, yeah.
And down to swamper. You were a lieutenant, but because you had a committee of evidence, they strip you of your rank, and now you're a swamper.
Yep.
And then
and that can even include removing dining privileges and things like that, which is was my experience when I received a committee of evidence.
Really?
For my terrible crime of allowing, well, I didn't even allow, for just being Marty Rathbun's junior when he escaped. That was the reason I was given a committee of evidence.
Really? You are
Yes.
such a criminal. Wow. And so you didn't get to eat after that?
No, so they wanted me to eat. So obviously where all the crew ate meals at the base was called Massacre Canyon Inn.
MCI.
Yeah, and it held like what, 200-300 people total, something like that. Well, in the galley where all the food was prepared, and then there was the back dumpster where they had the massive roll-offs that always utterly reeked like death.
Because that was galley garbage.
Yes, that's where they were saying I had to eat, was back there, standing next to those dumpsters. And I was like, no, that's okay. I don't need to eat.
Yeah. For months.
So Mark would buy me tiger milk bars, and I would just have 2 of those a day. And yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I didn't get a job filled that was supposed to be filled. WC Gold, which is the Watchdog Committee member over Golden Era Studios, who Dave Miscavige just rejected any, like 15 or 18 of my proposals for that. And so I got assigned rice and beans for like 2 or 3 months. And that's all I could eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I couldn't have any regular food. Yeah, and also in Golden Era Studios, and sometimes it was applied in the international management as well at the base, the team share system.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't you just love that?
Yeah, so it was 5 cards. You had 5 cards. One was, so what were they? That was social. The social card, which meant that if there were group, like if the organization had their stats up for the week, then there might be a movie played, or like social events or something, which in later years there were none of those. So it was kind of irrelevant. It was like a free pass for just getting to the important stuff. So social card, there was a
bonus card.
Which also was like just a burner because we weren't ever getting bonuses. I think maybe we got a like $20 bonus once maybe. And then there was the chow card.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, pay also, I think, goes after the bonus. Like first you get your bonuses cut, then you get your pay cut entirely, right?
Right. Yes.
And then chow,
and then birthing. And if you lost your birthing card, you were supposed to be assigned to pig's birthing, right?
Yeah, or you had to sleep on the golf course.
Yeah.
Out. And it wasn't a golf course, okay? It was like grass. Like brown, long, not a golf course, like a field in the middle of the desert with rattlesnakes and stuff.
Yep.
I wouldn't do that.
David Miscavige many times made various different executives set up tents to sleep out by at the far end of the property, not the golf course end, but the old Gilman house out there. One time he did it to Mark when Mark was in trouble for something with a group of people, and Miscavige had them set up the tents intentionally so that the sprinklers would go off on them in the tents at 6 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
how nice is that?
Yeah.
I remember one time waking up when I was assigned, I don't know, I was out at Happy Valley on the rehabilitation project force, and my tent, we left our shoes outside, and I got my shoes in the morning, and there was this tarantula sitting inside my shoe. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Yeah.
Did you have any other crazy justice notes you wanted to share before we get to some questions, and then we'll bring Katherine on in?
The only other thing was fitness boards and you getting your freeloader debt, or you can also, like I got fitness boarded from the int base to the flag land base in Florida in the rehabilitation project force. It's really weird. They're squirrel again, because the fitness board isn't supposed to be like that, sending somebody to the RPF. It was stupid, but
right. It's supposed to determine if you're fit to continue being a member of the C organization at all, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they sent me to the rehabilitation project force, and luckily I got off the property at that time, because right after I left is when they locked the doors and made the hole. And
Yep.
then finally, SP declare. So that's our status. Happily our status.
Proud
And
of it.
proud of it. We're out speaking to who we want to speak to and doing what we want to do and living our best lives.
Yep. It was
Yeah.
probably the best, scariest thing that ever happened to me.
Right. I know.
Scariest only because I had this idea from growing up from 4 in the Sea organization that was a terrible, terrible thing. Only come to find out, yes, I lost my family. That sucks.
Yeah.
But I am free to speak my truth. And
Yeah.
hopefully one of these years, my family will wake up and contact me. And I hope they do.
Right. I mean, truth is truth.
Yep.
And somehow it does resonate with people.
Yeah.
You know, even if they want to block it out because that's their training, it actually does kind of hit their spirit somehow.
Yeah.
Because I did a little, if you want to call it, intervention in my family, you know, and I had my stepfather that was married to my mom was still practicing and would force my mom to disconnect, you know, and I literally just showed up at the house and I said, I'm going to tell you everything that I know because you're being fed a lot of BS basically. And, you know, for my family's sake, you're married to my mother. She was my mom first. And so I said, you're going to hear what happened and what's going on. And if you continue to support Scientology after that, that's your decision. But you need to have all the information because part of mind control is information control. If you don't know the information, how can you make an educated decision?
Exactly.
So I laid it all out. I went to the FBI. I told him this. I wrote, you know, blah, blah. David Miscavige was like all this stuff. And I laid it out. And he said, well, I can't support an organization that does all those things, you know? And so he left and
That's
our family
awesome.
got back together. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it
That
can
is-
happen.
Yes, exactly. I know, totally. It can. I hope for the day
Yeah.
that you know, because there's many families who have suffered disconnection, and
Oh my God.
it can be fixed. Just
Yes.
it does take real communication, and it takes somebody willing to listen to hear both sides, which ironically a Scientologist will claim that they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether they do or not is a whole other subject.
Yeah. Yeah. Goodness sakes. Well, those are the things that I wanted to take up with regard to my favorite subject of justice.
Yes.
I even had, do you remember what's called LX lists in Scientology? And what that is it's a stupid list that you assess on somebody that finds your valences, like your beingness, your identities.
Mhm.
And then it runs through the outpoint plus point list that L. Ron Hubbard devised against those beingnesses or valences. And the only thing that read on me was injustice or the subject of justice. So for I don't know how many hours they were trying to fix this subject with me. And I was like, you know, it sucks the way and I don't see any changing on that. It's in the policy.
Yeah, right. It's built in. You'd have to bring Hubbard back and get him to revise that to fix that.
Yes, yeah, and you
Which
can't
is
do
not
that.
going to happen. No,
They
not
think
at
it's
all.
going to happen, but you know, they make the offices for him around the world, thinking he's going to show back up and say, "Hi, you know, how's everybody doing?" You know, I see Scientology's gone to the pot since I left.
Yes.
I wanted to show a couple of banners. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Go right ahead.
Okay, so at this point, I would like to make a plug for both of our channels because I need 53 more subscribers to hit 7,000. And I know that at least that many are watching Claire's site and need to come over to my site, which is Amy's YouTube channel at Who is Amy Scobee. Come over there and smash that subscribe button.
Yay. Let's hopefully we can do it right today,
Yes,
tonight.
yes. And I wanted to show you my website. I recently, just this week, put up a website. It's still a work in progress, but it's pretty good, and the links work in there and everything. And I was just so tired of all these other websites using my name and identity that I needed to make my own. So www.scobee-publishing.com.
Nice. And here
Yes.
I'll put up
Yes.
ours here. If you haven't read Mark's book, Blown for Good, Behind the Iron Curtain of Scientology, you can order it here, and both Mark and I sign those books. And it is available in hardback, paperback, Kindle, audio, Audible, which was done by Mark himself. There's that one.
Nice.
And then don't forget, too, you can get a Mike Rinder bobblehead or an SP bracelet at the spshop.com, where all the proceeds benefit the Aftermath Foundation. There you go. We'll leave it at that.
And then I was going to suggest a book giveaway.
Oh, yes. Let's do
what
it.
You think?
Yes.
Okay. And also just on my website, just so you know, for the first time, I've also done a digital copy of my book. So Amazon's got a Kindle and an audio book that was done by somebody else, but that's okay. It's still my information. That's what's on Amazon. And on my website, it's the paperback that's only sold by me, signed by myself and my husband, and then a digital download from me. So we're going to do... It's so funny. Everything's backwards. And I'm like, okay, so now.
I know. I still struggle with that. I'm like, oh, boy.
I know. I'm going to go over to the comments. So everyone just say, if you would like to have a book, please blow up the chat. And I'm going to pick somebody in like, I was going to say 5 minutes, but I meant 5
No, you're going to do a 5
seconds.
countdown. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a 5 countdown. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
NYC Girl. Great book. Does that mean you want a book? You have it, right? Oh, well. Well, good. So send me a message, and it's amy@scobee-publishing.com, and I will send you a book.
Awesome. And I'll do one in 15 minutes right before we have Katherine on for Mark's book.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
And for everyone asking, yes, I am working on my book. It's just been a little bit of a tough last few weeks, but I'm maybe about a quarter of the way in.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yes.
You know who else is writing a book? Matt.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, all of a sudden it just like he just sitting there typing his little brains out.
That's awesome.
I know. And I'm writing a book, a second book.
Nice.
Because my book ends off when my mom and I disconnected. And so the whole universe has happened since then, like the whole St. Pete's Times and speaking out for the first time and doing whirlwind engagements, media engagements around the world, and my book coming out and the Aftermath show and so many other things happened since.
Totally. Yeah, Mark has the outline for his second book, which is similar to what you just described. Like, in other words, everything that happened after we left is almost, some of it's crazier.
I know.
Yeah.
With the PIs and everything like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So much so. All the spy files stuff that he's been covering on the series of,
Oh, that's so cool.
Crazy.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say is on my YouTube channel, if you do a membership, and I created membership levels, there's certain perks, like my members got first visual of my new doggy, and we'll get first up on maybe some of the chapters of our new books, and and like things that I have that I want that I haven't shared with anybody yet, like Scientology. I have some stuff that would be really interesting, but anyway, I'm just saying that so if you want to be a member, you get first information.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, should we do some questions?
Yes. Okay. So what we'll do this week is I will do the starring and you do the reading. Okay.
Yep. There we go.
Okay.
And bear with us, folks. We'll find our groove. All right. Colonel Brock became a YouTube member. Okay, then.
I thought he was always there. But
yeah, he's always been there, I think.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that, but they ought to.
Yeah, there must be context we're missing. That's all right. All right. Oh, Casey Isaac. Sorry.
Cassie.
I know. Come on. That's my thing. I was always giving Mark a hard time. Treats for the sweet babies. Mango, Queen Bee.
Aw, Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
Okay. And star click.
All right. Borderline what? Hey, Claire. It's A.A. Ron Hubbard. Just wanted to say thanks for the video message. So cool. By the way, Clearwater Chad got his Xenu mug. Happy with my SPTV one. Awesome. I'm very happy to hear that. And for anyone that doesn't know what that's in reference to, we now have a live merch store that you can see on the Blown for Good channel. And it's through a platform called Fourth Wall, which has a really cool app where you can send thank you messages to anyone who makes a purchase. And that job falls on my plate most of the time.
Really cool.
Unless somebody specifically wants a message from Mark, then they say that in the comments and then he will do that.
That is a cool feature.
It's very
really
cool. It's kind of like a little cameo where you say, hey, hey, Amy, thank you so much for your purchase. We appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the SPTV community. We will see you soon.
Until next time.
Yes,
That was Mark's tell, as he used to always say. Until next time.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yeah, most people don't realize that when he first started posting as Blown for Good, he was completely anonymous.
Totally anonymous.
Nobody had any idea who he was. And
we were like trying to guess all the time. Based on what he was saying, I knew that I knew the person. So, okay, who's out? Like I couldn't figure
And he would intentionally drop misleading information to kind of throw Osa off his track. Like, oh, if I say this, then, you know, they'll think I'm much older than I am. And he would, anyway. Crazy.
It threw us off his track too.
Yes, indeed.
He was good at that. He was so fun too. I mean, the stories, all of that needs to be like gathered up because I tell you, this is history. It really is history. And we put together, do you remember the bedtime stories, the Little Dicky series?
Yes, I totally do. Oh my gosh.
That was Matt. And he would write them out in Chicken Scratch and send them over to me to type up and edit and post on the message boards. And
you could almost even make that just a series of essays, like what Jefferson Hawkins did with one of his second books, where he had done essays describing every part of the Scientology ethics book in great detail. On Tony Ortega's blog, and then Jeff took all of those essays and made them into a book.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. It's fun. There's 15 of them, and it was because we were starting to go around the United States and see all these ex-Sea Org people and get all this download of current information and everything. And Matt was his hair was like, this is going on at the Int base because he wasn't up there at that time, you know?
Yeah.
And so he started revealing it. Okay, here's the next one.
All right, Cassie Isaac. Treats for your babies too. Yay.
He's on both channels.
Thank you for being here, Cassie, and thank you for being on both places. By the way, Amy, refresh your subscribers. I think somebody said you hit your marker.
Is that right?
I think so.
Michelle I can't see the regular comments when I'm looking at the stars, but I don't think I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
But I'll go over there. Really? So that's really good news.
Yeah, Michelle Carpenter. Admire you two so much. Would love to see you in the SPTV Discord. Emailed link to Claire. I know people are intimidated by Discord, but I have tools to help in there, and we're now over 100 strong. Awesome. Well, thank you, Michelle. I did see that link. I know it expires. And yes, I will admit to some Discord intimidation just because it's an unknown to me. But if the link hasn't expired, I'll give it a shot tonight and see if I can't jump in there.
What is it? What does that mean?
Some kind of social media hoo-ha thingy. I'm not really sure.
Okay. We're doing a social media hoopla thingy right now.
I'm good at defining Scientology terms, not social media stuff. It's not my thing.
Yeah, that's me too. Hoopla thingy.
Yep. Belladonna Chronicles. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you very much for being here. Beachy, Tara, the Blown for Good kids are back. A bright spot could be there is no way a minor can agree to arbitration. Hopefully good for Valeska.
That's a good point.
Psy mafia.
How's
Yes.
how's a mafia? How's a mafia? Has a minor supposed to agree to that kind of thing?
Yep.
You know.
Exactly.
Anyway, the whole thing's BS.
Yeah, it really is. Miranda Brinker, what's it like going to the doctor and telling the truth?
Now that we're out, or when we were in there? Now that we're out, I tell everybody the truth. Like
Yeah.
when I first left, I had this whole situation going on with my body. If you see my latest video, which was I did a compilation of my Tampa Bay Times videos. I looked totally different. I was so sick. And the doctor that I had said basically I had 2 years to live if it wasn't immediately remedied. He'd never seen test results that bad. To me, I didn't know what it was or what it even meant. But then the next doctor that I went to, and that was in Florida, and then I went to Seattle, they said, you should consider suing Scientology for medical malpractice because all these symptoms started when they put me on that 8-month purification program at 5,000 niacin. That's a medical malpractice. But anyway, I had $150 to my name, so I wasn't going to do it. But you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. I know. I thought I had cancer when I left because I could not stop losing weight. So I'm 5'7", and I was like 30 pounds less than I weigh now. I could not keep on weight no matter what I did. And I had adrenal gland exhaustion. From lack of sleep, lack of proper nutrition, and so I was just nauseous the entire time, every minute of every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, so yeah, we tell the truth to the doctors now because we're not trying to cover up, we're trying to, like in Scientology, you don't actually want to say that you have anything because it's looked upon badly, like that you're a potential trouble source, and it embarks you onto this whole crap that you don't want to touch. So you kind of like suppress it and keep it to yourself. But when you leave, you're actually hoping to get some help.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Thank you for that question.
Yes. All right. Jefferson Hawkins. Yay. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget fitness boards. I had one of those. Yes, we covered that. And thank you for the super chat, Jeff. We appreciate you being here. We should have Jeff on one of these evenings. That would be amazing.
I can tell you, Jeff, you were totally qualified. You were way more qualified than they ever deserved. How's that?
Yes, exactly.
Love you. Okay.
All right. Christ anxiety. I would love to have a Blown for Good exposing Scientology since 2006 and at all things Scientology on my channel. Okay. Not quite sure what that means, actually, but we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, so maybe they have a channel and
he
wants to sell your book.
No, to have Mark on as a guest. And both of us. Awesome. Send us an email. There you go. Sorry, it took me a second there. It's been a long week already.
It's okay. It's the end of the night. You still look super fresh. Okay. Here's the next one.
It's more the end of your night. Kristen B, super sticker. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Let's see how we're doing on. Oh yay, we're 1350. Yeah, that's awesome. We're doing great. All right, Golden Casimir, coming from a non-Scientologist, if David Miscavige did not take over CSI, would RTC still be the head of the structure? Could another organization be leading like CMO, or would it always be whoever is COB, chairman of the board? Thanks. Thank you for the question. L. Ron Hubbard definitely intended Religious Technology Center as the policing organization within Scientology. That said, though, David Miscavige is chairman of no board.
Yeah, and he made up that title.
Exactly. So you never know. We can't rewrite history, though. We know how it is currently. Yeah.
Plus, it was like RTC was supposed to just police trademarks, which
Yes.
meant nothing to us in management. It was like, okay,
Well-
whatever you do, I don't know what you're doing. Well, it became something else. It was created to be something else, and also approve, like, if somebody was going to be permanently posted or important executive positions and stuff, it had functions. But to people in management, it was a little bit like nebulous to us. They're policing trademarks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but David Miscavige was micromanaging everything that we did, so he wasn't policing trademarks. He was policing our movements.
Yeah, and Hubbard's words did give him the authority to go into any level of Scientology, as different to like CMO. You had to go down. Management had to go down to the next level down. Religious Technology Center did not have that built into it, per L. Ron Hubbard's words. So it's kind of the unique. That's why it's the flag, at the top of the org board, because that flag can slide in at any echelon.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew that they could go anywhere that they wanted to, because they did all the time too.
But that's why so it's that little flag marker that's at the top of every org board, because it means that they have authority there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Good. Well, I mean, I knew that they had authority to go wherever they wanted to, because they always did. And it's the senior most organization, and the CMO could also bypass anyone that they wanted to, and did often. But I didn't know that it was the flag on every single chart meant that they were same. So that's perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
That was something I learned new.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Beachy, how horrible. Did anyone sneak you food? Mark did.
Yeah, no one snuck me food.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never in the same organization or on the same schedule as my husband, and so we didn't even know what was going on. Sometimes he wouldn't come home for weeks. There was 4 years where I didn't see him because he was on the rehabilitation project force, or another 2 years that I was on at a different time. It's just so stupid.
Yes. Should we do 2 more questions and then add in our guest for tonight?
Is she here?
Yes, she is.
Good. Okay, good. So let's.
I wasn't sure if you saw her jump in. So, and don't let me forget to do the Mark's book giveaway right before we bring in Katherine.
Yes. Okay, we're doing 2 more. Did you say?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, Donna Dwyer. Jackson recently did a YouTube on the backstory of people sleeping outside, and David Miscavige made him set the sprinkler timer. Yes, exactly. That was a very common practice. Yeah, pretty evil.
It wasn't bad enough already.
Yeah, Lily Castle. Hi, Claire and Amy. Got my Xenu is my homeboy t-shirt. Love it. Yay. Awesome. We're glad you love it, Lily. Thank you.
Good. Okay.
All right. So now we'll do a book giveaway and then bring in Katherine. All right. So we're giving away a copy of Mark's book, Blown for Good, Behind the Iron Curtain of Scientology. So if you'd like to mention in the chat if you'd like a book with Book Me or whatever you choose, I will pick one in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Veronica Bombria. There you go, Veronica. Shoot me an email. Yes, congratulations. Thank you for being here. Shoot me an email at claire@blownforgood.com with your address and your preference on hardback or paperback, and I will get that off to you tomorrow morning.
Yay.
Awesome. All right. So we're now going to welcome our special guest for this evening, Katherine Spallino. Katherine!
Hi! So thank you for having me. This is so exciting to me.
Our pleasure.
It's my first time of meeting you. So nice to meet you.
I know. It's so nice to meet both of you. I've obviously heard many things, so I'm impressed with all that you two do, and I'm like humbled to be here, I guess, to be sharing.
No, we appreciate it so much. This is our All Things Scientology series, and we'll be talking to all kinds of people, but it's very nice to have you here. Very nice to see you in person. Obviously, we've been emailing, but it's just different seeing someone in the flesh, as it were, even if it's virtually. And of course, so tell us about your book, The Bad Cadet, and we'll link to it in the video description. But how about we start there?
Sure, absolutely. Well, this is the book cover. I think, this is.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, over. There we go. There you go. That's it. That's it. There you go. Nice.
I actually love that cover. I love that cover. It's
My
totally
husband made it. I'm like,
wow.
He is not a graphic designer, but he knew what I needed for this cover.
I love it.
Because I was using freelancers and they're sending me these copies and they were just so dramatic, and I'm not a dramatic person. And then Ryan's like, what about this? And I was like, perfect.
That's it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's awesome. But it is about the Cadet Org. I think people might have heard of the Cadet Org from Jana Miscavige's book, which I read and it was a great book. She has a different childhood because she's David Miscavige's niece. So it's the Int Ranch. The Int Ranch is different from where I was from, which is the Pack Ranch, but similar in a lot of ways, but different because the Pack Ranch is like the lowest kids. Like, the lowest Sea Org members who are at the service orgs, all of their children were sent to the Pack Ranch. So this is the story of me at the Pack Ranch, and it's taken from a young girl's perspective, which is a little bit unusual. So you start with me loving L. Ron Hubbard, and oh man, do I believe everything. And my parents are clearing the world. I only see them a couple hours on a Sunday, but that's no big deal. And it's just so normal to me. And you follow my journey as I get older. I'm an avid reader. I start to see like, oh, this isn't all quite adding up. And the outside world just looks a lot more fun is basically where I keep going, because I'm just start to get ordered around and shunted off to the Sea Org at 14. It's not like, do you want to join the Sea Org? It's you are going in the Sea Org.
Yeah.
So at 14, I'm in the Sea Org, and it's a lot of misadventures of me being I'm not a bad person, but a bad cadet in the Sea Org. And how do I work with that thought control that they have, because you're so brainwashed that it's like I have to save the world, but then I'm also focused on myself and what do I want, and what's gonna win in the end is what the story is about.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm about a third of the way in and loving it so far. And I will say, and again, for you covered it well, but in really basic terms, in the Sea organization, anyone who had children, those children were automatically destined to become cadets, right? And even though I was in the cadet organization in England, there are so many parallels, especially pretty serious injuries that never got treated properly, the lack of any parental involvement. I mean, as a child growing up in it, it really was normalized, right?
Oh yeah, it was so normal. It was normal not to see your parents. It was it was just like how our life was, but it wasn't okay. Like I look back, I'm a mother now and I have 3 kids, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like nobody was there like advocating for me. And like there's a lot of self-doubt I have as I grow up, because there's nobody who's like, you're smart, you're important, and like you could achieve things except for besides like get your stats up. Like these are, that's all they want. Anything that's off lines basically is no good. And I kept, going off the lines and getting distracted, and I would get in trouble again and again. It's
not hard to get in trouble there. I think one of the biggest crimes that Scientology has is what they do with children. Literally. I mean, they rob you of your childhood. Yeah. They just rob it, and they own you, and you're a big Phaeton. You're a big being. You've been around forever. So act like it and get to work, because you want to play, or you want to have a good time, or visit your friends or whatever, and it's like you're smacked around until you're disciplined, until you just fall in line. And it's just so sad. Ugh. Especially knowing kids now, when you see them, you just want them to be able to play and have a good time and enjoy their childhood.
Yeah. Yeah. Were there, and maybe this is in your book, were there ever child services involved at the ranch where you were located, Katherine?
We never saw them, but there would be times like when they'd be like, there's a car here, nobody's doing work outside, everybody go on course instead, like this car is taking pictures. So that was like those little like, oh, like something's weird here that they don't want us to be seen. But no child services. But that's such a great point about child services, because something I laugh about with my friends is so many of us were brought back to the Sea Org base at PAC, which is like the big blue building with the Scientology sign, we
Yeah.
would blow and police would find us because we were underage and bring us back. And I think that shows that something's going on with the LAPD when you really think about it. Like, how many young underage children were they bringing back to this place over and over and not
and
questioning
never
anything?
asking questions or reporting it? And
Yeah.
and LAPD, I'm sure, as part of their actual authority, they are mandatory reporters. So you would think, absolutely, as you say, they would be reporting child abuse, child neglect at the very least, at the very minimum. I mean,
Yeah. Or an investigation should have been done, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
twice I was brought back in police cars, which will be in my book.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's got to get your book. And where do you buy your book, by the way, just while we're thinking about it, because now that you put that mystery sandwich up.
yes.
Yeah. It's everywhere for ebook, and then paperback is Amazon.
Awesome.
Amazon.
Yeah, really smart by you, Amy, to make your own website. I'm like, maybe one day I'll get there because
Yeah, it's not hard.
Yeah.
I can give you some pointers. I'm like seriously experienced now. I'm just kidding.
wow,
We
yeah.
hit us both up. So
Yeah.
Mark and I published Mark's book. So whatever
Yeah.
questions, whatever we can help you with, we are here for you, Catherine. Welcome to
thank you.
SPTV.
Do you know, Claire, that
appreciate it.
you're the one who helped me when I went to write my book in 2009. You sent
Yay.
me the How to Self-Publish book,
That's
the title of it.
right.
And I bought that and I followed it step by step, and I created my own publishing company and wrote my book and published it myself
Aw.
because nobody was publishing, Scientology books. It was like taboo, hot potato. So to get anything out, we had to self-publish. And if they want to sue me, they
Good
can.
luck
Yeah.
with that.
Mhm.
I forgot all about that, Amy. I'm so glad
You
you
helped me.
reminded me. Oh,
Yes.
yay me.
Yeah, you. That was a good book. I've recommended it to other people too. It was a really
Yeah.
good, helpful book.
Yes, absolutely. But yes, Catherine, whatever help you need, let us know. We are
Yes.
here
Yeah.
for
I'll
you.
let you know.
It's a
Yeah.
community of people who just want to help other people, and we get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
about
I really
Scientology.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so so is there a specific story or something from your book that you would like to share with us tonight as a teaser for everybody watching who's going to go buy your book tonight?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Ooh, okay, let's see.
I mean, you don't have to read it. You
No.
could just paraphrase, whatever you want. I'm just
Paraphrase?
throwing it
Okay,
out there.
whichever
Yeah.
you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like, here's an example of life at the ranch. I decide to sneak off. So you're not supposed to have boyfriends and girlfriends, but we did. And I was 12 years old, and I had a boyfriend, and I wrote him a note, hey, let's blow source night. And it's so boring, and go to the berm. The berm over by the, horse corrals, away from everything.
What's boring?
Source night
Boring?
was boring. Source
Yeah.
night
Oh,
was
it's so boring. I thought you said, let's go boring.
no, I got you.
No.
Sorry.
Every Monday night they would have us listen to L. Ron Hubbard lecture or something, and I'd be falling asleep and trying
Yeah.
to keep myself awake. And so I was like, oh, let's blow this. And
Yeah.
he got caught with the note, and I find out because I go down, I get called somebody walks into the course room, and I'm like, ooh, someone's in trouble. And it's because it's the cadet MAA, and then they're like, Catherine, get over
Oh,
here.
no.
I'm like, oh no.
It's you.
And they call me down to the main office, and I get reamed because they have no problem shouting at children, just like how you guys talk about how Damon Miscavige abuses everybody. The shouting and screaming, it goes all the way down to the kids. It's sad.
Yeah.
And so I get yelled at, called horrible names, and then they tell me I'm going on the ECG, which is a mini RPF. And this is for writing a note to go just to skip
Source
night. So I'm on the ECG now, which is late. Same thing as the RPF. You can't be with your friends. You're isolated. You don't eat with anybody. You eat the leftover meal. And if there's no food left over, you just have PB&J. And you're running laps all the time. And one time we had to clean around the sewage. There's a leak in the sewage tank. So we're all digging around the sewage tank. And I'm joking around with this guy who I think is attractive. So one thing you're going to find is it's definitely a coming of age novel with a lot of teenage thoughts. But it's totally what I was thinking those times. And I'm just talking to him, not paying attention. And I fall into the muddy, sludgy sewage water.
Oh.
And it's all over me. And I'm so upset. And everybody's laughing. My brother's on the ECG with me for something else. And I like get up, I'm like, my brother's laughing, and I like march off to the dorms, and I'm just like a mess. That's an
Unbelievable.
example of like
Yeah, like what child would be in a
punishment.
situation where they're cleaning up sewage, right? And where the
Yeah.
heck are the authorities in all this? It's just crazy. I mean, obviously the cadet org no longer exists, probably partly because of the huge liability it presented, but nonetheless.
And exposure, because people were coming forward saying what was going on there. So, yeah, because like here's an example. Because I was just rewatching the St. Pete Times videos that I did, and I exposed that there was somebody on the RPF for 9 years when we were in there for having a dirty needle. And then 4 years later, we went back and he was still on the RPF. We went back to the Clearwater area and he's running in his boiler suit still. So that's like, I don't know how many, 13 years he's on the rehabilitation project force. So I exposed that in the video. The next time we went to Florida, he was walking around in a Sea Org uniform. So, and a bunch of other people that were on the RPF. So it's possible that we're giving like a little bit of external pressure with the revelations that everyone's doing to make changes, even though there's still a sucky organization. Maybe something is being done inside because of all our cumulative voices.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
that's what
definitely.
I'm really hoping, because I lost my parents because I like the disconnection part. I'm hoping that maybe eventually they'll give up on that pressure on all the families.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they ever will, but like they had my parents and my sister, and that was like 5 years ago, because I'm best friends with Miriam Francis and another woman who was on Leah Remini's show, and all because I was friends with her, they disconnected from me, and it was just so heartbreaking. And I have children; they gave them up, and it's just like so many stories like this. I have several like cadet friends who left and were out and no longer Scientologists who have lost their parents. And like our parents, even though they didn't raise us, they're still our parents. And like we did see them here and there. We did have love for them. I still have love for my parents. If they ever came out, I would totally help them out and take care of them.
Yeah.
So it's just sad. Like I managed to finally reach them. Somebody had saw an interview that I was on and told Aaron Smith-Levin, and he got the number to me, and I managed to call them and talk to them. And then the next day the phone was disconnected. Like that's how fast they're moving. And that's like such cruelty for like, it should be like obvious that is so wrong that they put family last. And then even with the RPF that you're talking about, like there's cadets when I was growing up who didn't see their parents because they was just like, oh, your dad's on the RPF, you don't get to see them.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Like what it was. Oh no, yeah.
But yeah, and hopefully the word will get to your parents, and they will have strength and courage to know that there's a whole big world out here, and they can be free and they can start good lives and reconnect with you and your kids. I mean, this is the heartbreak of disconnection, and it is just pure evil.
Yeah, I think that policy alone is enough to just destroy Scientology within, because it destroys so many families, and you don't just let it go. I still have family in my husband's brother and his wife and kid are still in Scientology, and and so they still have a grip on our family. So, and a lot of people who are speaking out, they still have a grip on the family, and that policy that keeps us bound to this, because you don't just let it go, your family, put it behind you. I hate it when people say stuff like that. Just hate it. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's what actually, and I was always going to keep quiet, and then they took my parents disconnected, and I was like, well, then I'm going to write this book, because I felt like the Pack Ranch deserved a story to be told, but I didn't want to do it out of fear of losing my parents. They literally took my parents anyway, so it's like
so they, in other words, they made the decision for you, like they do so many times.
They make their own worst enemies, right? That's what happened to me. They Tommy Davis's little face gets up on CNN saying there's no such thing as disconnection. Meantime, they forced my mom to disconnect from me, and she's almost suicidal. I mean, it was like that bad. And they're saying on CNN that there's no policy that exists about disconnection, when every Scientologist knows that policy exists.
Exactly.
Oh, man. I just went like, okay, that's it. I'm done. And I am going to expose their asses.
Yeah. Well, good for you. It's awesome.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Catherine,
good for you too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Catherine, what year would you say you're no longer in Scientology?
So I left Scientology around, I was in the Sea Org and left at 16. And then I went to go live like with my aunts that I never met before who are not Scientologists. But it still took another 4 or 5 years. So it was like 21, 22. And for me, what happened was my brother, who was still in the Sea Org, was sick. And I was back in LA by then, supporting myself, doing well, working at Delphi, and overall doing well. And they called me into the org and told me I was the why that he was sick, and that I was basically the suppressive person. And they issued a non-interb order on me. And then my dad was making mistakes. He was an OT3 soup.
And for anyone listening who doesn't know, non-interb order is a gag order in Scientology. You're not allowed to say anything anymore, right?
We can't. They couldn't even talk to me, and I was about to turn 21. And it was just like really devastating, and it was really hard. I was trying to process it, but I had to keep quiet. I have no one to talk to about it. I can't even talk to my friends, and it was really hard. But luckily, I was dating my current husband now. And he was not a Scientologist. And he said to me something that anybody who wants to know how to talk to somebody who's in Scientology, this is what he said. That helped me. He said, I'm never going to be a Scientologist. So don't worry about saying anything bad, because it's just not for me. I grew up Christian. Like, it's not for me. And he's like, I could tell something's bothering you. You're normally really happy. He's like, do you just want to talk about it? And then he let me talk, and he didn't interject or tell me like, oh no, that's horrible. Because I would have immediately defended it. Actually,
right.
As I was talking, I was still defending it. I'm like, there's just people in the Sea Org that are making a mistake. It's going to get handled. My sister said, she was in CMO. Like, she's going to get this worked out. But meanwhile, they're not talking to me, and they didn't call me on my birthday, but that's life. And it was just hearing myself speak with the cracks.
Did you start to listen to yourself during that conversation and go like, what is coming out of my mouth, or what was that like? And by the way, please tell your husband I said thank you.
Exactly. Sure. So awesome. He sounds amazing.
It still took another year or two, but that was the beginning where I was starting to really question things. Because when I left the Sea Org, I questioned the Sea Org. I did not question Scientology, and I think that people don't really understand that part. Or some people may not. So I was the same. Captures that.
I was totally the same. I was like, just don't, I wanted to lock the door and throw away the key and never talk about it ever again. Look at me now.
Look at you. It's amazing. And I have friends like that. I was like, do you want to read my manuscript? I need to get your let me know what I wrote is right. And some could and some couldn't, because they're like, no, I'm going to have nightmares. And it's legit. Yeah. Like, you have PTSD. Like, the worst nightmare ever is waking up or thinking you're in the Sea Org and waking up.
Yes.
It's such a horrible nightmare.
Recurring. Yes. Oh my gosh.
You have that too, Claire?
Yes.
I do too.
Totally. Even, and I have weird twists of it too, where I'll wake up and I think I'm at the headquarters in Hemet, but my kids are there, and I'm trying to hide my kids.
Oh, no.
And oh my gosh, it's
Oh gosh, you're like, don't tote my kids in the Sea Org.
I'm like, hide behind the bush. Don't let anyone see you. Not because of fear for me, but fear for them. Anyway. Yeah, I think if we compared notes, we all have pretty much very similar versions of nightmare, but at least they're receding as time goes on. And well,
I think you'll find writing your book too, which I can't wait to read. And Amy, I can't wait to read yours too. It's actually a therapeutic. It's like, really, you write it. First you barf it all out, and then you have to go back, and you have to make it a book.
That's so funny. That's exactly what Mark told me, almost word to word. He's like, you just have to have diarrhea of the typewriter. It just has to all come out and let it all out. He's like, you're being too careful about it. You just got to let it all out. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I was so careful writing mine. My next one is just going to be all of my thoughts and emotions and, attitudes and everything. But the first one was like a knowledge report. Fact, time, place, forward, event, because it had to be what I could only prove, and all this kind of stuff. It's like, but we all come through. Yeah. And there's a period of decompression too. Cause I I grew up calling Scientology a church, and so I was watching my videos, and it was like the church this, the church that, and I kept putting up in parentheses cult when I was making the video, you know. But yeah, it's a process. It's totally a process.
By the way, Katherine, I forgot to ask you this. Would you be good with us throwing out to have the viewers ask you some questions?
Awesome.
Yeah.
And also, if we want to do a freebie for my book as well, that'd be fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's
we should
amazing.
do that first.
Yes. So let's do that
first.
Let's do that first. And for anyone who has questions for Katherine, we can just go to the bottom of the questions so we catch those. Are you all right? So okay, awesome. So Katherine, if you would like to, you can see the comments flying by, right?
Oh, let me see. Oh, now I can. Whoops, it was
okay. And so I don't think that you will be able to star somebody, but you can do a countdown, and then just call out the name of the person that you pick. And I will write it down, and then that way Goldie will help us take care of the magic behind the scenes. How about that?
Countdown from 5?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, or wait, backwards.
5. That's okay.
It's all good.
3, 2, 1. I'll just do a little random scroll and land on Yancy Kim.
Yancy Kim. All right. Yay. Congratulations, Yancy Kim. If you shoot me an email, claire@blownforgood.com, and I'll get with you afterwards, Katherine, and we can arrange the details. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for doing that. That's awesome. And then, so yes, just a reminder, put up any questions you all have for Katherine, and we will jump over and get those going.
I'm going to start clicking here.
Okay, so Anon, it's unfortunate that most cadets won't go public. I have several close friends with crazy stories who would never come out due to existing family connections. Thank you for coming out, Katherine.
Thank you. Yeah, I have friends like that who DM me after my book come out, and they're like, sorry, I can't like it. My parents are in the Sea Org, but it's so cool. So they exist, but it's hard to speak out.
Yeah, well, thank you for your strength and courage, Katherine, because every voice counts, every single one. You know, I hear some people say, oh, what can I do? I'm just me. Well, I'm just me too. So, and you're just you. Everybody has a voice, and everybody should use their voice. Anyway, so thank you.
And I do know, I will say, my friend Miriam Francis, who actually really helped me with my book, she is amazing. She was on Leah Remini show. She has a book coming out.
Awesome. That's amazing.
So there is going to be more cadets speaking out.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, good. All right. Destiny Salazar. Thank you for being here. Katherine, you were so brave at such a young age. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Even though I was never in, I identify with so much of what you have shared.
Thank you. Nice. Appreciate that.
All righty, Lorraine, kudos to all three of you brave women. Katherine, will you be doing an Audible version of the book?
I will. I'm like halfway there, chapter 20.
Yay!
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Nice. Good job. And yes, again, we are at your disposal for any questions, anything we can do to help and support you.
Yeah, really, because your husband knows audio, right? I should be like, why does my voice sound so tiny or whatever, like weird electronic? No.
Yes.
I've been going on YouTube a lot and like figuring it out, but if I can't figure it out, I'll reach out.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Jay Dice, please clarify why The Bad Cadet is called a novel. Is it an autobiographically inspired novel? Loving it, by the way.
Thanks for loving it. I don't know the definitions there, so I'll have to look it up. Maybe I defined it wrong. It's a memoir.
Yes, it's a memoir.
I don't know if I called it a novel or I called it a book and a memoir, but maybe I wrote novel somewhere. But,
Jay Dice, shoot me an email. Katherine and I will figure it out because it's not a novel. It's a real life story.
Yes.
Katherine's story. Yes, memoir, exactly.
Good.
All right. Tarkina Meyer, a pillar of the SPTV community. Thank you for being back. Absolutely love you, SPTV ladies. You all bring such great joy, even with difficult topics. That is the perfect example to current Scientologists on why the outside is better.
Yes.
Yes.
Come join us.
Yes, come on
Yes.
out, Osa. We will forgive you.
We'll forgive you. We'll
Now
help
that you're
you.
brainwashed.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Caroline Wilson. How recent did you leave, Katherine?
I left in 2001, so a long time ago. And I left Scientology was like 2006, 2007. So
Nice.
yeah, living my best life.
Yay.
Yeah, and you got to have kids. I'm so jealous.
Yes.
That's so good. I'm so happy for you.
Did you
Yeah.
have what was that like for you? Sorry, Amy, becoming
No problem.
well, I'll phrase my question. For me, when I had kids, all of a sudden I stopped rationalizing why what my parents did was okay. Did you have any of that?
I had already had those conversations when I was in my 20s with my mom. I said, "Why did you send me to the ranch?" And for her, she grew up poor in New York and not a necessarily safe neighborhood. So what was better than a safe environment to her, in her words? She doesn't know exactly the neglect I experienced. I'm also the fourth child, so she kind of forgot about me in a lot of ways. But she basically felt like I was in a safe environment being raised by something she really believed in. So she still felt like it was the right choice. And at that time we're still connected. So I wasn't going to like negate that. I was just curious.
Yeah.
But having children, the part of like how much I care and like for example, this is like a really silly example, but today I had my twins who are in kindergarten do a kindergarten sing-along, 2:00. And then my oldest was going to the park with his class. And I really wanted to go to both. And it was like, I was like at the 2:00 one, I was there till 2:45. I'm like, okay, can I still make the park? It's not like they're doing anything at the park, but I just wanted to like be there. Like, it's just so important to me.
Yes.
And it's just like, I care about my kids so much. Even it's the things like that you nurture in them. Like one of them is into theater, one of them's into sports, one of them is into science. And they like all three of those also mutually. It's not all mutually exclusive. It's just there's this passion for each of those things, and I can nurture it. And nobody does that for us when we were little. It's very sad. And it's like, I don't actually have a lot of like anger about myself. It's surprising about how I was raised. Maybe it was the barfing on all out in the book. I'm like, it's like a little sad, but I'm also doing great. Like, so
That's
I just
awesome.
I don't know. I don't hang on to it. And I'm grateful for that. Like it would be a lot harder if I was constantly thinking back in the past, and not to say other people who are having a harder time, who've experienced even more trauma than I have. Like I would say my experience in the Sea Org was a typical experience, which is really a bad experience. But there are others who have like, especially if you're at Gold, like that is even more abusive than the PAC. You know, PAC was just like the lower level Sea Org members who are also not treated well. But there's like, everybody has their own trauma, and I don't want to compare trauma.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's story is it's important.
It's and even if they grew up like me, and maybe it was more traumatic for them, and that's like, I understand that too. I'm grateful that I've come through it. And I did get a therapist though, which, as you all know, is forbidden.
Yes, I did too. Good for you, by the way.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And I did do that when my parents disconnected, to process it and talk about it, because I did go through some sort of, I was definitely low level depression, like angry, sad. And that was, my twins were babies. So I was taking care of two little baby twins, and my mom had seen them, held them, and chose to leave them. And that was really, I did have to process it. So I'm not saying I don't process anything. Just, I also recognize I have a pretty great life. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so,
Sweet.
man, I love that we have met tonight, because your story is just amazing. I love it. And I love that you're having a happy life, and that you have children, and you're love bombing the heck out of them.
Yes, I know. It's amazing. I can relate on so many levels. But what I find is, like, for example, my youngest plays trombone, and I'll go to the concert and I'll just be bawling my eyes out. I'm like, for no good reason. It's not even sad tears. It's happy tears.
I love it so much.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and just I mean, I totally had to relearn, or just learn at all compassion for other people.
Yeah.
and being there in the time of their need, and being all about someone else, and that was something else, because in Scientology you're not like that at all.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to be empathetic again. And like I had to learn, I have encountered people with mental problems, or like they have depression, or they are on psychiatric medication, and understand like, oh, they need it to help them, and to not judge them for it, and to just be a friend or to be a listener, and be like, oh, like there are so many different kinds of people who are going through things in their own ways. And like in Scientology, it's so judgmental, so judgy. If you're not doing well, you are basically a pain in the neck in society.
Yeah, it's true.
Get yourself together. Stop pulling stuff in is the reaction you get if you're dealing with something that's making you sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. All righty. Helen Girl, 55. Katherine, I've lived in SCV for 40 years. Where you were at Santa Clarita Valley. Okay, where you were at in the cadet org. Where was it located? Going to buy your book.
Thank you for buying it. And it's located on Bouquet Canyon Road, 54. Hold on, I used to have it by heart. 55431 Bouquet Canyon Road. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
You should everybody do a little Google, and you could do like a satellite image.
There you go. Perfect. All right, Lathanda Grocklinger. It's so great to see you strong and brave ladies. I've never been in COS, but I've been fighting cults for decades, and all the work is still much needed.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Destiny Salazar again. Seems like a huge red flag where multiple minors are escaping from a group.
Yeah.
Seems like there was a general lack of curiosity by law enforcement.
Yeah. My friend literally spent the night at a foster home. For some reason, she had a different journey than mine when she blew, and they still brought her back the next day.
Oh, come on.
So weird. Yeah.
Wow. And there's history on this, by the way, which I'll be covering in my Where is Shelley series. But even the cadet org, I learned recently that in the 60s or 70s, the cadet org in LA, Child Services was actually going to shut them down, and they stuck all those kids in a van at night and drove them to Mexico. They human trafficked the entire cadet org to Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how many millions of dollars Scientology has paid public authorities in Los Angeles, but those public authorities should reconsider their actions.
Yeah, I wonder if
their jobs.
Is there a way to even like subpoena the records or something? Because it is very, very crazy. And like SEERG members that are as young as like 11 years old, 12 years old, like not like 14 makes it any better, but it's just like, oh my gosh.
But to have them take you back, the LAPD is essentially doing the work of HCO for the C organization. Doing their work.
We have to pretend like everything's okay. Like even though I was blowing, I still said like, oh, I was just going for a walk. So not to make it okay for them, the fact that we all have the same like story, I would say, right? Where we get picked up because we're blowing, but yet we're still brought back. That's not okay, and there should have been like a record of that for sure.
Yeah. And interestingly, I've since talked with my uncle, who was a very well-known pediatrician in London, and he pointed out to me that things like that, like statements like that, oh no, everything's fine, or in my case it was I don't know how that happened. Those are mandatory reporters are trained to observe those statements as red flags in and of themselves. So even though you were saying you're okay, you're obviously not okay. Where's your parents? Where's your
You're in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Interesting. All right. Karen Voller. Can there be a class action against Scientology on behalf of the minors affected?
So I thought I had heard that something was in the works.
Oh.
But I have not heard anything in a long time. So like I had a few friends who've been contacted. But I don't know. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but it would make sense to do that.
Yeah. It absolutely would.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't Valeska, is that the name? Valeska, somebody who was on the free ones when she was young? Isn't
Yes.
she
Yeah,
doing
well,
a suit similar
yeah.
to that because she was underage?
Yeah, human
Yep.
trafficking because they had, they were on the free ones. That's right. As
Yeah,
minors.
so I think if that, I know it's like struggling right now in the courts, but if it's somehow won, then that would probably bring out a class action, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the law, but
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
have to immediately go to arbitration. I saw that the judge allowed it to,
They are appealing.
appeal.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Colonel Brock. Katherine is brilliant.
I starred that one.
Nice. Yes, you're brilliant, Katherine.
Don't let my head get big, guys.
Monica Unknown. Katherine, I read an excerpt online and I love your writing style.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. It's so important to me.
Helen Girl 55. I will drive there. Do you want a pic video?
Sure. She can. I'm at the Bad Cadet on Instagram and at Twitter, so she posts there and tags me. I would totally check it out.
Awesome.
Good.
Andrea, question. Katherine, could you please do an interview with Kelly Copter?
Sure. I don't know who that is, but if you think I should,
I will connect you with Kelly Copter. She is an amazing part of SPTV community. She's done a whole series of videos on YouTube. She grew up in England and was told she was a suppressive person when she was 6 years old. She was not in the cadet organization, but her story is incredible. I'll send you the links and I'll connect you two together. How about that?
Yes, I would love that. And I know who this person is. This is my
You
dear
do?
friend.
Laura.
Yeah.
Oh, I do too. Laura FM. Love you all from one bad cadet to another. Here's to you, Kat.
Oh, Laura, I love you. She used to
Amy,
be
you
in a
probably
band
know
with my
Laura
brother.
too.
Who is she? I don't know.
Laura.
The gold kid. She was at the Int Ranch.
Yes.
Laura.
Yeah. She was about Jenna's age, Jenna Miscavige's age. It was Megan Anderson, and now she's Laura Anderson.
And her parents were Phil and Diane.
Oh, yeah.
Just so I don't say the last name because I want to be respectful of her. But Laura, thanks for joining us. Awesome to see you.
Wow.
That's okay.
You know, it's funny to think that the people who were in the cadet org when we were there, they're actually adults and probably have kids now.
I know, right?
I think of them as little kids still.
I know, it's crazy. I wonder whatever happened to Melissa Sutter. I don't know. Anyway, all right, moving on. Denver Stevo. Shoot your best wishes videos from Mike to Denver Stevo by Friday, 10 to 30 seconds. Keep it wide side to side. Check the audio for clarity. Goldie has my address. Awesome. Thank you, Denver Stevo.
Sorry, I was trying to do Katherine one's, but that one came through.
That's okay.
Good. I don't know. I mean,
that's all right.
So I think we've got the Katherine ones.
Perfect.
Well,
we'll just do some general ones. And Katherine, if there's anything you want to pipe in on, feel free to do so.
Okay,
and if any other
good.
questions for you come up, meanwhile, we'll obviously put those up too. Denver Stevo again. I love these ladies. Missed Claire, but Amy has kept us happy. Yes. I was in LA last week for a graduation of a gentleman we've been helping through the Aftermath Foundation. It was amazing. His story will be coming soon to all of you with the help of Kelly Copter. So we're very excited to share his story. Katherine, you might know him actually. Do you know Serge Obolensky?
I now know his name because he was on. No, I don't. Basically,
Okay,
not personally.
that's okay.
I'll just say.
It's all good. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let's go, Brandon. I heard David was missing or hiding. Seems like he's fighting for land in Florida now. Sad he crawled out of the hole he had been hiding in. Yep.
Does he? What do you guys like think? Because you guys both knew him. Is he somebody who like steps away from the spotlight for a while? I was reading Blown for Good or listening to an Audible, and he seems to get up in everybody's business normally.
He sure does.
Yeah. The ego on that guy is the biggest you've ever seen, ever. Even bigger than Tom Cruise.
He's also one of the most paranoid people I've ever met too. So those two things, he's
oh gosh,
he's figuring out how to have himself in a spotlight somewhere, even if it's in a cave.
Yeah. And he would never consider resigning or going into hiding or whatever. And what I found was the profile of a sociopath, which is exactly laid out. And it's David Miscavige to the letter. And it was so helpful for me to find that, because it wasn't L. Ron Hubbard policy about antisocial personalities. It was actually real world technology about a sociopath, and it was so David Miscavige. And I went, okay, that's what 18 years under this guy. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yep. I just finished reading The Sociopath Next Door. That's a really good book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right, Lily Castle. Does Galaxy Press send money directly to Scientology, or what happens with the money made from LRH's science fiction books?
Well, that was Author Services.
Yeah.
I don't know what Galaxy Press is.
Galaxy Press is it's like the Bridge Publications, but for Author Services. It just prints his science fiction books, and yes, royalties from those books go to Author Services. Yeah,
and that's all, it's all Scientology.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. William Tubb, you go girls. Any update on Mike?
Like I said at the beginning of the show, he's doing better and improving. And to keep your eyes out for a possible YouTube video coming soon.
Yay.
Yes.
We're
very happy.
Amazing. Yes.
For improvement. Okay.
All right. Beachy Tara. Ordered a Where's Shelley t-shirt and a Mike bobblehead. Can't wait for them to arrive to record the video message for Mike. Thanks for the update. Wonderful news. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, by the way, Catherine, that reminds me, as our guest for tonight, you get to have a bobblehead and an SP bracelet, or one or the other, if you like. Just send me your address and I'll ship it to you.
Sounds great.
Hey, awesome.
We love giveaways. They're just so much fun.
They are fun.
I love them too.
Yes. Laurie Wilmore. I'm trying to figure out if my childhood friend is still in Scientology. Her name is Tammy Willamek. Does that name sound familiar?
Not to me, unfortunately.
No, not to me either.
Or maybe it is fortunately. I don't know.
Yes, right?
But, they would probably have to say which org or area.
Yeah,
Right.
Geographic location might be helpful.
Yeah.
Sorry, Laurie.
Yeah.
I hope she's not.
Yeah.
Apostate Alex, 2 power women standing up and tackling the battle head on. So inspiring. Thank you for everything you do and motivating me every day to keep on fighting. And now there's 3 of us. Catherine, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here, Apostate Alex.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
I'm going to talk to him next week. So
Yay!
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Wonderful.
great.
Okay.
All righty. Fee in the Shed. It's killing me to know, since listening to Mark's book, did you ever get the $200 back from him? Love from Fee from Scotland. No, I didn't get the $200 back from him. I actually sold my wedding dress so that I'd have money to blow.
You did?
Yeah.
Who would buy your wedding dress? Was it somebody on the base?
Yeah, it was Suzanne Widmer, because she was going to marry Tim Larson. And the sad part is that weddings had been canceled, so she bought it, but then I don't think she ever got to use it. I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah, but anyway, no, I didn't get the $200 back, but that's okay.
That criminal.
Donna Dwyer, to all the closet Scientologists watching, you too can have the joy that you see in Amy and Claire. Aftermath Foundation will help you regain your life. Yes, indeed. There's nothing that brings me greater joy than helping people get out of Scientology. I got to be honest. Well, my kids too, but in terms of like, it's funny. We've talked about this so many times that we're doing more to help Scientologists than we ever did when we were in Scientology.
Yeah. I mean, to have that foundation is such a big deal. Like people, I think, don't understand how lost you are, especially if you're way advanced in your age and you have nothing. Then you're just really stuck. And to know that there's somebody, a foundation to help, it's so amazing that you guys started that. That's awesome.
Yes, no, it's
I'm
awesome.
hoping my parents could utilize it.
Yes, absolutely. And we have more and more people volunteering every day. Like I just had another lady contact me today who's a career mentor. And so we have a few of those people now helping with resumes and, all the different questions that we just had no exposure to when we were growing up in Scientology. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember writing my first resume. It's like, I'm 42 years old. I got an 8th grade education. What jobs have I held? I was fired as a babysitter when I was like 12 because I let the girl who was allergic to the sunshine go down by the water. But anyway, it was terrible. Okay, here we go.
All right, Warren Rice. Love the channels, ladies. Any chance you'll add ball caps for us bald guys? LOL. Keep up the good work. Yes, absolutely. We have ball caps in the Blown for Good merch store currently.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Daisy. I'm a never in, but I'm a big fan of all you guys and gals. You all are doing great work. I love when you all include your pups in the videos. Team Mike, donate Mike Rinder. Yes, indeed. How are you doing on time, Katherine? I just realized I want to be respectful of you and your most important role as mom of 3 kids.
That was impeccable timing. It is bedtime, and I'm in my kids' room. If you guys saw the mess around me,
no, you look amazing. That's awesome.
No, just stuffed animals everywhere, but you wouldn't know.
That's my house too, with my doggies.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks everybody for listening to me. And I am so pleased, and I can't wait. I hope we'll chat again soon. I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just a reminder to everyone tuning in, go to Amazon or anywhere you get ebooks and get a copy of Katherine's book, The Bad Cadet.
And feel free to DM me. I do respond. Thanks,
awesome.
everybody.
Have a good night, Katherine. It was so nice meeting and talking to you.
Yeah, so much love to you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yay.
I love her.
I know. I knew you would. She's amazing.
Totally love her. And I feel like there's so many people I could adopt.
Yes, right? I know. Totally.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Stacy Y. Oh, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy Y.
The more voices speaking out, the more people who will come out speaking up sooner. Osa, you too can get out. Exactly. And Stacy, thank you for all of your support to the ever-growing SPTV network. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Denver Steve-O, Monday, June 26, 9 p.m. Clearwater time, ET. Up all night for the love of Mike. 10-hour chatathon hosted by Clearwater Chad and the notorious Never Ends at VChad and Denver Steve-O's place. Awesome. That is amazing.
You guys are amazing.
Yes. Sandy Del Rey, super sticker. Thank you. That's what that's called, right? Super sticker.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've been calling it.
All right. Good job.
Could you imagine if it wasn't?
Yeah, exactly. I know it just kind of throws me off because it's not really a sticker per se, but who am I? All right. Sarah Wynn. Amy, off topic. I need to know where you shop. I love all your blouses you've been wearing. Loving all things Scientology. Look forward to it every week.
Wonderful. Where do I shop? You know, one of my favorite things is the thrift stores.
Nice.
You can find treasures like crazy in thrift stores, and there's some real fun ones around here. And because I mean it's my husband used to say when his mom wanted to take him to Goodwill, he goes, "I'm not wearing dead people's clothes."
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And it's not just dead people's clothes.
No, it's not.
And then also my mother-in-law was a fashionista, and I got her wardrobe also. I took care of her in hospice. Yeah. And I got her wardrobe. We just happened to be the same size. And otherwise, bells or whatever, just local stuff.
Nice.
And I have good taste.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. All right, Sarah Wynn. Oh, we already did that one. Sorry. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
All right, Sandy Del Rey. Happy birthday, Jefferson. I just donated to your Aftermath fundraiser. Oh, I'll ask Goldie to send me. One. No, me neither. And I didn't know it was his birthday today. So happy birthday, Jefferson.
Wow, Jefferson, you didn't tell us any of these things.
Yes, you've been holding back. All right, Miranda Brinker. Did you get new wedding rings after leaving? I'll let you go first.
I wasn't married when I left.
Oh, right. Yes. So you did. Yeah. Of course. Duh. Sorry. But you left with Matt, which is why I equated your story similar.
They sent us out like this, me to Washington State and him, and we were single, and they confiscated our contact information. So we had to track each other down and find each other. And when we did, he flew up to Washington and we got married.
That's awesome. How long did that take?
Well, we left on the 1st of March. I found him on the 3rd of March, and he came up immediately. And then we were married on the 13th of March.
Wow. That's just crazy on so many levels. Yeah. So I have my same original rings that I hold on. So this was the original one that, and then this one, and then Mark got me another one. Nice. For our 20th anniversary, but I still have the 2 original rings that Bernie, Mark's dad, loaned us money to buy in the jewelry district in Los Angeles the night before we got married at Celebrity Center. It was very last minute. Like, we left the base at 5 p.m. on Thursday night, and I had to be back on post by 6 p.m. on Sunday. So, yeah. And we had to drive to Vegas to get a marriage license because I was under 18. I was 17.
Oh, boy.
It was a whirlwind. Anyway, there you go. That's the answer to that question.
That's funny. It's cool that you still have your original ones.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Andy Fabulous. I heard COS is recruiting the Denver Nuggets. True? Hell no. If they are, I'll go tell the Nuggets, who just won, by the way. Woohoo! Yay! For the first time ever. First time ever.
Really?
We had our neighbors over to watch the final championship game. Woohoo! Go Nuggets.
Yeah.
First time they've even made it to a championship, Mark told me, in 46 years or something crazy like that. All right. Lori Plays. Y'all got to be careful with Amy. She'll yank a video right out from under you while trying to watch it.
I accidentally put up Oh, thank you, Lori Plays. I put up a video, and then I realized it was the one that didn't have the slides that I added to it that I put up. So I took it down real quick and then put up the other one, and she won't let me let it down.
Yeah, it's all right. We have a very on the ball audience here.
Yes, it was funny. She's giving me a hard time.
Joni Cummings, you 3 ladies are such an inspiration to me. Thank you for doing these lives, especially Katherine. Awesome, Joni. We will pass that on to Katherine. Sorry, yes. She had to bounce out for her kiddos, but it was such a pleasure having her on, right, Amy?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Absolutely.
Daniel Elliott, I'd love Mary DeMoss to speak out. Maybe one day. Yep, maybe. We'll see. I think last I knew, she's in Colorado.
Oh, is that right? Huh?
Yep. Brett Grace, another amazing talent in the SPTV community. DM and TC are BFFs, but with David Miscavige being such a recluse these days, how often do you think they actually see each other? Love Ladies Night on SPTV. Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're both in Clearwater most of the time, so.
Yeah, and doesn't TC have like a penthouse something or other?
Yep.
You know, that you can drive his car into and with a loft or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if David Miscavige had tunnels leading to TC's house.
I wouldn't be surprised. I literally would not. Okay.
Yeah, I know. All right, Destiny Salazar again. I love seeing the SPTV family growing. I'm so grateful for every new insight and shared experience. Well, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Oh, and I love your Mike Rinder bobblehead pick. Thank you for that too.
Very cool.
Yeah. What do you think? Should we end in like? Do you want to set a time to finish? Oh, we're almost done with questions. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I was just like, okay. Penny Navoda, did you ladies seek a higher education? So I haven't. I mean, I got my realtor license, and I've done a lot of training in bookkeeping and things like that. I am, at some point, after I've written my book, I am going to finish getting my GED, and maybe I'll think about doing some higher education, mostly because of my kids. I want them to know I really, really, really believe in the importance of education. So that's my motivation. Mark's always like, you don't need a GED. You already, I mean, I've researched things up the kazoo. It's not for lack of study.
Oh, yeah. It's not like we're highly competent individuals that could, run whatever planets, like Scientology says.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I didn't continue my education. I mean, I obviously did training for my job or whatever, but and I study a lot. So just in general. So, to me, like having a GED, I didn't think it, for what I've been doing the whole time, was out of necessity. One of the things that I had to do the whole time was work for myself. So I didn't need a GED to work for myself, because I couldn't, because Scientology is just attack monsters, and they would go to your company and tell them horrible things about you and do different things. And so to protect myself, I just worked for myself. Yep. Me and Matt just worked for ourselves. You guys did the same thing too, right? For the longest time.
we were in the, we had office jobs. I mean, Mark was post-production, head of a post-production department, but that was shut down because of budget cuts the night before we had the baby shower for our oldest son. And I was working as an office manager for a company that managed farmers markets. So the month our oldest son was born, we started 3 companies, and we've been busting and working our butts off ever since then. And the funny thing is, like, Mark loves what he does. I love what I do. I really do. So I'm very grateful for that. And that's too, I suppose, where it happened. Yeah. If we were doing bingo tonight, somebody would have just won something. But yeah, I don't believe in education for the sake of education only. I believe in, reading and all of those things and constantly learning new things. And that's what that's my life plan.
Yeah, I definitely do that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clara, yay! Love this live stream of powerful women. Welcome back, Claire. Thank you, Clara. I appreciate you. We love you. So good to see you here.
Which one is she? I don't know her.
Clara has been helping us with all kinds of designs for the merch store. She's a very talented young lady, and her fiance Dalton is on here all the time as well. I talked with Clara, and she's an amazing person with her own amazing story. So there you go.
Man, with all the talents that are just in the whole community coming together, it's like an unstoppable force.
It is. I know. We are gaining momentum by the day. So and come on out, OSA. We don't bite.
We don't bite. And also so much love to every single person who contributes to that.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Dean Johnson, thank you for the super sticker.
Thank you, Dean.
Brett Grace again. Amy, we loved seeing just how much your husband makes you laugh in your last Q&A. You deserve it.
He makes me laugh every single day. He's original. Like, he will come up with examples of things that are just totally off the top of his head, which, it just cracks, like, here I am laughing again. Yeah, it just cracks me up every single time. I love him to death. We enjoy our life, and very thankful that I got to be, to have him in my life. I mean, if I had to go through all that crap in Scientology in order to end up with him, maybe I'd consider doing it again.
Oh, that's so sweet. I know. I'm like, well, I don't have regrets. Are you kidding me? I'm here with Mark. He of course has that same amazing sense of humor. He can make me laugh even if I don't want to.
Yes. He cracks me up. I mean, if there's somebody that cracks me up all the time, it's Mark. I love him so much.
Yes.
Should I grab my doggie?
Yes, absolutely. Before we go, did we finish all the comments?
Yes, we did.
Awesome. So your Kiwi can make a debut on SPTV before we say goodnight.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yay. I love it. It's awesome. Let's see. Kiwi puppy. Oh my gosh. Kiwi. Oh my gosh. The cutest little puppy. Oh, it's your little baby.
He's like totally sleeping.
Oh my gosh, he is adorable.
He's just waking up.
Oh. That
Yes.
is amazing.
So he's a mix of well, they don't know exactly, but it's poodle and Yorkie, and then whatever else after that.
Nice.
Oh,
Such a sweetie
yes.
pie.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, on that happy note, we'll wrap it up here and say don't forget to subscribe to both of our channels.
Yes.
Who is Amy Scobee and Blown for Good. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you get notifications of our next show next Wednesday. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with this, huh?
Yes, we are. I just love you, Claire, and so I'm so happy to have this forum to be able to talk with other people and meet with you. And we were talking about all the subjects that we could take up, and the list goes on and on.
Yes.
I would love for people, if there's a subject that you really want to hear about, to put that in the comments, because we'll consider that when we plan our next upcoming series.
Perfect. In the comments on the video, not in the chat, right?
That's right. On
Perfect.
the video. Yeah. Not in the chat. And then finally, smash that subscribe button on her site and my site. You guys know where those sites are, so go smash the subscribe buttons.
Yes. And I love you too, Amy. I'm so excited to be doing this series. It's going to be awesome.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, everyone. My little guy's so tired.
Good night. We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.